Hey, Dr. Brett here. So we're back with my co-host, Veronica Brion, the former co-host of Open Door with Dr. Brett. And we're doing these little videos because we like them and people enjoy them. So here we go.
Here we go.
Hi.
Once again, I have an awesome question for you this morning.
Okay.
We talked about love and relationships and substantive emotion. Tell me about how you deal with when you become disillusioned after you had this honeymoon stage, irregardless of whether it is a business relationship, a friendship, or a love interest. How do you
That's
handle
a
that?
really good question. What do you do with that sense of disillusionment that your business partner or your life partner doesn't seem to be the person that they said they were or showed they were when you initially met them? This is part of the reason why I'm constantly asking people to slow down in relationship as they get to know someone. Slow it down. In other words, like, what's the rush to marry somebody that you've only known for 6 months or a year? It's really not that much time. The same thing on a business partnership. It's really important to slow the process down. But let's just say either you slowed it down and the person was really good at fooling you, or something changed, or for whatever reason you got in too soon, too quick, and you wound up in this disillusionment situation. The key now in life, everywhere, whether it's in business or personal life, is not to stay stuck. So you want to start to do something about your situation. Sometimes that can mean just accepting the person for who they are, and that acceptance can actually add some real value. It takes the pressure off, and then we can communicate better. Other times we actually have to start to change the situation, right, or take some space from it. If you're in any kind of abusive relationship, you certainly want to change that in some way. Accepting abuse is no good. So what you want to do is you want to either take some space or move away from it entirely. Is that part of the answer?
That's
probably
part of the
complex.
answer. It's a little bit of a complex answer. I think people need a bit of a simpler answer. Just, how do you recognize before you get in too deep, more or less?
Okay, how do you recognize before you get in too deep? Well, again, that's the part about slowing down, right? And not rushing into any kind of, really serious relationship. For me in my past, I'm working on a novel now that I'm writing entirely myself. I've been working on it for over a year. But 3 years ago when I first started the process, I hired a ghostwriter because I thought that I didn't really have the confidence to write the book myself because I don't have a background as a novelist, and I hired the wrong person. He turned out to be what I refer to playfully as a dirty, rotten scoundrel, one of these people that aren't who they say they were, and he took me for a lot of time, money, and energy, and the hardest part of the situation was I cared about him so much because he was a decent guy. He just was not honest, and it took me a while to figure that out. And, so there were a lot of painful life lessons in that process. But if I had to do anything over again, I would have done a little bit more diligence and a little bit more research up front and slowed the process down. But I just didn't have the experience in that arena. But if I look back on life, I do have the experience to slow things down. And that's part of the reason why I'm constantly coaching people to take your time, not to be fear-based or scared, but to actually take your time and to investigate the situation on a business level, or if you're in a partnership, to ask the questions, right? The questions of, what are you looking for? And, and it's okay to ask what your relationship with your parents was like. And, these are cool. I know you look funny, but these are things okay, because it really does matter. Like, there's no rush to get involved with somebody who, hates their mom and dad, and, and, like, that's, that's not a good,
and dandy,
right?
But I'm going to interrupt you here.
Yes, please.
I have to.
Okay.
Because everybody out there is going to ask the same question. That's all great, but when you're sitting across the table from somebody and you're having dinner for the first time and you're asking them...
I'm not talking about the first time. I'm talking about, before you go to the altar, let's just say. I'm not talking about the first time.
Do you have a list of 20
You're
questions?
be cool. No, it's not a list. It's a feel.
Okay. Okay.
Right? I'm not a list kind of guy, right? I'm
I
not
know
a,
you're not
right,
a list
totally.
kind of guy, but you know,
And I'm
people out
not-
there are going to ask that.
And and I'm not talking about dating. When I talk about coach people on dating, I coach them to be actually to do the opposite of a list and 20 questions, but actually stay in the present moment and not come to the experience, the relationship, the dating situation from an agenda. A lot of people are trying to get a checklist. Does he make enough money? Is she pretty enough? Right? Is she smart enough? Does he, you know what I mean? Is he successful enough? Right? As opposed to just feeling it out by staying in the here and now and really being. And that's a challenge for a lot of people because they get in their heads about like what they want, what they think they want. But as you know, relationships get fun when you're doing a lot of being.
Absolutely. I believe in being upfront. Even in business relationships, if you just, you know, you have to do your due diligence like you talked about with your business partners and with your personal partners, and even people that you grew up with, even with your family, if you just enjoy life with the being piece, meaning the here and now, correct?
Yes.
So I thank you very much for your time and your questions and your answers to my questions. Anything else you want to add about love and relationships?
Well, I mean, you know, again, I think that, you know, the heart of it is to actually come to it with heart and to be willing, we talked about this the other day, to be willing to open your heart. A lot of people have gotten hurt somewhere along the way and then they shut their hearts down. And, you know, life is so quick. If we're not willing to open up our hearts, we're not going to feel and we're not going to live fully. And so what I'm inviting people to do is to intelligently open your heart and open your mind and open your spirit to life, whether it's in a relationship, a business partnership, and so on. And then, of course, if you do your due diligence, that helps.
Absolutely.
Thanks
you
for
again.
watching.